Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? The aftermath, man. Did my post fight video yesterday, but got a chance to sleep on it. Chop it up with y'all about the win yesterday and where you guys, we'll go back and forth where we think, give our opinion on where we think Anthony Joshua should go from here after his victory last night. All right. JC, what's up, man? Shout out to my man of Fanon Boxing International. Go to his page, subscribe. I was on OG Boxing Talk this morning. Finally got a chance to make my appearance on the show. Looking forward to doing many more, but I came on as a guest today, man. So looking forward to doing more interactions with those brothers. I've done videos with all of them before. It's uh, collabs with Kurt Sugar or Kurt Anderson, Kurt Sugar, Blood Boxing, for Fanon. We actually did a collab during Blood's when Blood came out with his those little documentaries that he was doing, man, when he was following the heavyweight division year by year from the 80s onward. All right, so but it was good to be on OG Boxing Talk this morning though, man. JC was good. James Daggs, what it do? Mark Blake up in here. Let me go ahead and do this for Mark Blake, man. He been a loyal subscriber. It's not letting me add you as a mod right now, but AZ, what's up? Cicero was good, man. David Watson, Illis92 up in here. St. Cruisin says AJ fanboys are back. God save us. James Daggs, what it do, man? He says good work on OG Boxing Talk. I appreciate that. Nike Jacob in here. October 4th. What's up, man? St. Cruisin up in here. He says, again, he says OG Boxing Talk was fire. Go on there regularly. I'm gonna try to, man. Blood had me dying on there, man. I had to put myself on mute. I was cracking up, man. Blood went off on Dillian White. Uh, just a classic Blood boxing rant. Yo, when Blood go in his rants, I just sit back and listen, man. You know what I mean? I don't try to interject. I don't try to add my 2 cents. I just sit back. Like I told y'all when I was on there, I felt like Jerry Stackhouse. I felt like Jerry Stackhouse when he went second. Y'all remember that dunk contest that Vince Carter was in when he just completely dominated it? And Jerry Stackhouse had to go right after him. It's like you forget about his dunks. I think it was Jerry Stackhouse that went after him. I didn't forget who went second, but I think it was Stackhouse. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? That's how I felt after when we were doing the round table when I had to go after Blood when he went off on Dillian White. You know what I mean? Salute to my man Stormy B man. He says, salute, brother. Great show this morning. I appreciate that, man. Um, you know, it was cool that Anthony Joshua went up in there, man, and was able to regain his titles. All right, I'm not gonna for you trolls. I'm not gonna make 40 videos giving this dude props. You know what I mean? Like I gave him his props yesterday, but even coming away from that victory, yes, he won the fight. No excuses. He won the fight. Now moving on, if you break down the fight, if you're a trainer and you're about to train a guy to fight Anthony Joshua, you're not going to say, "Hey, he won his titles back. Don't hate. There's nothing to take away from that we can exploit." No, there's always something in somebody's game, whether they win, lose, box beautifully, box a master class, however you want to title it, that you can see some holes in that person's game that you can possibly exploit when you get in the ring with them. So coming from a trainer's eye, I did see some things in there that Anthony Joshua still doesn't seem comfortable, all the way comfortable doing. Yes, I know he won. Yes, that's been established. He won, in my opinion, at least 10 rounds. At least 10 rounds. All right. That's been established. But he still look a little shaky in the clinch on the inside. Yes, he held on for the majority of the fight and he was able to implement holding on the inside. But there were also moments in there when Ruiz would let his hands go and he'll tag AJ where you almost looked at it like, is he gonna fall? Is he, you really didn't know. There's still those moments where when AJ doesn't want to fight, meaning when he wants to hold or rest, if you can shake out the clinch and let your hands go, there's still that little glimmer of danger there where he doesn't seem all the way comfortable. Yes, I know he won yesterday. Yes, there's no excuses. I'm just going over breaking down style. I know for some people it's going to come later. They're not even going to want to hear this. This will be considered hating. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Let me see here. So I do think I'm actually watching the Hunter versus Povetkin fight again. That was, yo, I got that right. I said that Hunter and Povetkin was still the show, and it, in my opinion, it did. Um, but the three-headed monster is back intact. The three-headed monster is back intact, man. Which is Wilder, Fury, and AJ now. You know what I mean? So it's back intact. What I don't want, man, is what we had prior to June 1st. Just a whole bunch of back and forth. Who sells? I mean, look, the ticket sales and stuff is always going to be a part of, especially today's boxing talk, and who's more popular and all. I'm so tired. I just want to see these dudes fight, man. You know what I mean? At this point, I just want to see, especially the three at the top. I just want to see them all fight. Um, but Eddie Hearn, that's why I left those guys in my as my thumbnail, because they gonna talk their shit, right? Eddie Hearn was saying, what he say, that Anthony Joshua is the governor now. He's back to being the governor of the division. He's the superintendent. You know what I mean? Lord Chancellor now. You know what I mean, of the division. That's the type of talk I don't really want to hear. With Mr. Boxing, they're talking their shit. Yeah, they're talking their shit, but I just hope he doesn't mean it in the way to where now we don't have to do this. We don't have to fight that person. We don't have to go there. We don't have. That's what I don't really want to hear. You know what I mean? Like I just don't want to hear that type of stuff, man. You know, because I want to see these dudes fight each other. Uh, I know Wilder and Fury got to get their thing on. Hopefully that fight takes place in February. You know what I mean? But let me go to this chat because I want to go back and forth with y'all, man. Let me see here. I'm gonna go back and forth with y'all. So let me see. Um, Punch quote says Team AJ on the LSU winning team. What's up, Mr. Boxer? Punch quote got it right. But see, Punch quote, you see the difference between when AJ lost though, bro. Now let's just be honest with each other. Punch quote. When AJ lost, you was trying to send me links to no Mr. Boxing. You was having some excuses, bro. You see how I have no excuses after Ruiz lost. I ain't bringing up even the stuff Ruiz was saying. I didn't train her. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Even if it is true, I'm not trying to hear none of it. I'm not trying to hear no excuses. So I don't have no links to send you, bro, about weight loss and weight gain, because you was trying to send me links about getting hit in the temple and all. That was just look. Uh, I'm not saying that the links you were sending me wasn't valid, pertaining to information about somebody getting hit on their temple. But I thought the links you were sending me were just excuses as to why he got his ass whooped. Yeah, he got hit on the temple and then got his ass whooped after that. Ass whooping proceeded after that. No excuses, you know what I mean? So I have no excuse. The dude lost. Ruiz lost yesterday. No excuses. No links to send you. No interviews to send you. He lost. Move on. You know what I mean? But yeah, you predicted AJ to outbox him and do his thing. You know what I mean? So you got the fight prediction right. October 4th says, Mr. Boxing, were you impressed that AJ showed the stamina to go back foot and move effectively all night? I thought he would tire out, but he was still strong late. Yes, I was impressed that he was able to sustain that, and I was more impressed that he was able just to fight a disciplined fight. The fact that AJ, who I'm not just making this up, but just off of what I was seeing, off of logic and off of his history and tendencies of fights that I've seen, not nothing I'm making up, but fights that I've seen, his tendencies is to be very aggressive. You know what I mean? So I thought he would just revert back to that, and he wouldn't be able to have the mentality to just stay focused on not trying to finish a guy. AJ was doing a lot of using my jab, hit you with a nice right hand. I'm moving out the way. I'm my wife just said running, but I'm moving lateral movement. Don't hate on me. He was using okay. She said he was running. All right, but moving around, getting out the way, circling to his left, circling to his right, breaking up the movements. I didn't think he'll be able to do that. I thought he'll get greedy, and once he land a good one, a good a right hand, which I said would be his key punch. Yeah, give me. Even though I picked him to lose the fight, I did say if he were to have success, yes, the movement and fighting like a big man and putting your weight on guys and using your jab, but also the right hand. Why did I say that? Because I've always said Andrew Ruiz is susceptible to getting hit with straight right hands. Been saying it for 4 or 5 years now. All right, so he used the right hand and then he moved. He didn't sit and engage. So I was more impressed with his discipline, just as much or as equally as much as his movement. October 4th, and um, Also, the fact that Ruiz couldn't get anything, he couldn't land anything on him. Not only was Joshua at arm's length, he was like at 2 arms length stand away from Andy Ruiz. You know what I mean? Um, so I was impressed by that. Now it's another thing though. Now people are gung ho in this performance. Now, hey, now just listen though. Now it's a different thing when you're moving around the ring and you're able to dictate the pace without taking a lot of shots. Now, had AJ, now I know it's if was a fifth, we'll all be drunk, but had he been taking some shots, trying to do that style, would he have got more tired? I don't know. A glimpse of that happened in the first fight when he was trying to move around, but he was getting hit with punches. So he was trying to move around, getting hit with punches, trying to maintain that style. Um, but I'm not I'm not convinced that that style is going to work every time he's in there with a pressure guy because there's some pressure fighters that have different dimensions. Yes, Adam Konowski doesn't punch as fast as Andy Ruiz, but he has more size to him as far as height and his reach. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying Adam can beat him. I'm just giving you an example of a pressure fighter that fights like, or a guy that likes to pressure, but he comes in a different package than Ruiz. So I'm not sure that him fighting like that will work against every guy that tries to pressure him. We don't know. Maybe it will, but we don't know. You know what I mean? Cicero says Joshua will fight Pulev next, then Usyk, then White. I think he's gonna defend the IBF belt against Pulev. I do believe that's his next fight. I know. Speaking of Adam, I thought Pulev and Adam had something. I know I read it a few weeks ago, but I'm sure after this, Pulev is going to have nothing to do with no damn Adam Konowski fight, and wants to fight Anthony Joshua. I'm thinking that the WBA may strip AJ, and for Eddie Hearn, that's perfect. Why is that perfect? Because it's going to be in his stable. That WBO title will still be in his stable because he has Usyk. Usyk is next in line to get a title shot. So if Usyk beats, let's say Chisora, let's say they have Chisora and Usyk fight for the WBO strap, Usyk wins. That's perfect for Hearn. Why? Because then Hearn can have Joshua, if he beats Pulev, fight Usyk in a unification fight. It's still under Matchroom. That's great for him. It's like the Don King effect, right? As long as all the tables is with Don King, or as long as all the titles is with Don King promotion, it's all great for him. Yes, you want your money maker to have the titles, which in Don King's case was Mike Tyson back in those late '80s or in the mid '90s. You still, but shit, Don used to have Tyson opponents. He used to have them slick contracts, man, to where if you did beat Mike, your next 2 or 3 fights is gonna be under him. You dig what I'm saying? So, but that'd be a win-win for Hearn. You know what I mean? And as far as Dillian White, I want Dillian White to get that Wilder smoke. I'm tired of the talking. I want him to get that Wilder smoke, and let's really see what it do. We've already seen AJ versus White. You know what I mean? And I think that ends the same way, especially with Anthony Joshua having his I brought this up earlier. I don't know if y'all remember the Martin Lawrence show, but y'all remember that episode where Martin left Gina and he went to some place to have a sanctuary. It was some cave damn thing he was in, and he turned into brother Shaquille Sunflower. He grew his hair out and all that, and he was talking real philosophical. That's kind of what AJ did. He didn't cut his hair. He used his training camp as a sanctuary. Grew his hair out. Had more facial hair than usual. He turned into brother Shaquille Sunflower, man. You know what I mean? So now, is he going to go from brother Shaquille Sunflower to Superfly? Is he going to cut his hair back down and have his brush fade? You know what I mean? Uh, so I guess we'll see, man. But I want him to remain focused on, you know what I mean, trying to come back over here and fight in the States. I guess we'll see, man. But I just think the Hearns and them, now that they got them titles back, I think they might be on some, hey man, kiss our ass type of vibe for the at least the next year. You know what I mean? I think they're going to be on that type of time. But we'll see. But that White, I don't really want to see him fight White. Not right now. I want to see White get that Wilder smoke after Wilder and Fury happen to fight. And if something happens, like I said before, or like I said on my post fight yesterday, if something happens with Fury to where, and I know that they supposedly have a contract signed, but let's say Fury, for whatever reason, for whatever what happens, an injury, anything that happened, enter Dillian White after that. I want Dillian White to step up. You know what I mean? What's funny? Uh, uh, Sammy D says Pulev Usyk is the mandatories, so he has to. Um, Punch Quote says AJ will beat Fury in Wembley. Wilder is hard because he has a puncher's chance, but that's it. Well, you still down Wilder, huh? So just a puncher's chance. He has the ultimate puncher's chance. I will add that to it. St. Cruiser says AJ needed to do to win, but stand away from Ruiz like he's Foreman doesn't cut it. Um, Let me see here. Somebody talking shit in the chat. I see my man St. Cruz and knocked him upside the head, uh, like the death row security back in the mid 90s. I ain't gonna even read that message. Whoever that person they put superintendent. So it is what it is, man. I'm expecting the trolls to come on and but look, man, I done got fight predictions wrong. I'm a long termer on here, man. Fight predictions don't ain't gonna make me or getting a fight wrong ain't gonna make me shut down my channel. You out your mind? I'm not one of them dudes. See, I'm not like some of the dudes on June 1st when they were picking AJ, they disappeared. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna disappear, man. Some of y'all disappeared, was nowhere to be found. Now he won. Now here you go again. Ain't seen you in months. I know you were busy with life. I know. You picked up 6 months worth of overtime. I know. But now all of a sudden, after he wins his title back, you back on the page. I get it. I get it. Uh Let me see here. Sammy D says I don't know if AJ will get past Usyk though. And I know why you're saying that because of Usyk's movements make AJ miss. Um, Try to have AJ come forward and miss and try to counter him and turn him and the way Usyk fights. But I think it's going to be a tough task. I think Usyk can give some guys some problems and beat some guys in heavyweight, but then there's some guys that I would clearly favor over Usyk, and Anthony Joshua is one of them. Um, but I think Usyk can, has the ability to give anybody trouble. Matthew French says there's always something to improve on. Yeah, man, you're right. But with when you're addressing trolls, sometimes though, if you just look at something that somebody can improve on, even if they win, you're hating. You dig what I'm saying? So you got to get in. Sometimes these trolls, man, they don't think on the same level. They think just they have troll tendencies. So they're coming from they're coming from a place of a troll. October 4th says Hunter Povetkin was a badass fight, loved it, and the draw was good for me. Fair. Yeah, I thought the draw was good too. So both fighters can now go on. They have no blemish on their record as far as a loss or another loss because both fighters have lost before. But just got the draw, didn't get a win, but you still want to see both guys again because has proved that, hey, man, I'm here. I'm a real contender. Whether you think he can beat the top three or not, he put himself as a real contender. And Povetkin has proven that, hey, man, you know what I mean? I'm 40 years old, but I'm still formidable. And you still got to respect my left hand and my overhand right. You know what I mean? So still want to see those guys. And like I said, for a guy like Povetkin, look, guys, and I made videos about this before in the past. And this may sound barbaric, but this is boxing. This ain't chess. This ain't, you know, Connect Four or no shit like that. This is boxing. All right. When I see the older guy, when he wants to call it a day, I want to see him get knocked out. That's messed up, Mr. Boxing. No, because in boxing, man, sometimes when fighters they lose like a squeaky close decision in their older fighter, it makes them want to come back and knock their ass out to let them know your era is over with. We respect for you for what you did, but let me give you this hard L to hold so you know that your era is over with. And I didn't think last night was the night to give Hunter some you know, squeaky decision to try to get Povetkin out of here. Nah, let Povetkin get up out of here, leaving on his back. I know it sounds barbaric, man, but hey, man, this is the fight game. I've always felt like that. Even when the titles changes hands, I like to see the champion or whoever the title holder was to get knocked out. Not no crazy decisions, man. And decisions happen, right? But I like to see convincing reasons as to why your time is over. And I know it doesn't always play out like that, but as a fan, that's what I like to see. Uh, a real HL says, I want to see some more upsets to the three-headed monster. And they might happen, man. This the heavyweights, bro. Stormy B, man, says I went in on AJ Ruiz on my post-fight show and basically said both men were exposed in different manners and that Joshua will be defeated again more easily when he faces a hungry, capable fighter. And somebody's not gonna let him breathe. It's like Ruiz in that first fight was not letting him breathe. And then complacency must have set in, man, where he see, I don't want to go into the excuses, but just some of the outside stuff that I'm hearing now from his father about him not training hard and trying to run on his own. Keyword on his own. Like, and this is somebody that needs trainers around him, man, to inspire him. And that's what I thought what was going on. Now they're saying that wasn't what was going on. He didn't train hard, and I'm not trying to hear that, man. But he was letting Joshua breathe. Even when in there were spots where he was right in front of AJ, I don't know if he was just scared of or just nervous about the oncoming counters that AJ would possibly land against him, but he was just literally staring at him. Didn't throw. I don't know if he wasn't comfortable with the distance. I'm not sure what the hell was going on with Andy in spots. Because there was a lot of times where Joshua was strictly just moving. Wasn't pumping the jab, but he was just moving. Mr. Boxing, you're hating. No, I'm not, man. He won the fight, y'all. He won it. But there were spots in the fight where he was doing nothing but moving. And Andy didn't do nothing. He just looked at him. Then there were spots in the fight where Joshua would just throw a jab. Mr. Boxing, you're hating. No, there were just spots in the fight where he just threw a jab. And AJ and Ruiz didn't try to counter. It looked like Ruiz only wanted to engage when they were literally in the clinch. It's like his game plan was, all right, when we get in the clinch, AJ's going to fall apart. I'm going to attack from there. So Ruiz, man, just did himself a disjustice, a disservice yesterday, man, by not stepping on the gas and at least trying. And then at the end, the shit he did at the end really made me shake my head. At the very end of the fight, like the last 7 seconds, he beating on his chest, giving us the old fight me like a man thing. It's like, man, come on, man. Why didn't you fight like a quote unquote man and rushed him in the 12th round and just went all out? Even if he went all out and got knocked out, we will respect that more than beating on your chest the last 5 seconds saying, come here and fight me like a man. That kind of reminded me of when Roberto Duran fought Ray Leonard, and Ray Leonard said he smiled at him and said, I ain't fight you like no damn. No, not Duran, the Hagler fight. When Hagler was telling, in the Hagler and Ray Leonard fight was much closer than this one. But you guys know what I'm saying, though. When Hagler was telling Ray to come on and fight me. You know what I mean? He's like, no. You know what I mean? And I think Duran did it as well, too. But guys will try to bait Ray Leonard into fight me like a man thing. Nah, man, it's up to you to engage. You know what I mean? It's up to you to get him to that zone. You know? Leo Donald, what's good, bro? He said you catch up on Simon Keane versus Liakovic and Makhmudov versus Peter. No, I did not, man, but I'm going to watch those fights, and I'm also going to do a video about that. Those fights is going to take place in Manchester, that little tournament. I forget the exact name of it now, but that tournament that they're going to have, that one-night tournament with Kamil Sokolowski and all those guys, man. It's a few undefeated prospects mixed with some journeymen. I love those one-night tournaments. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. Going to watch that. But no, I will watch Simon Keane. Keane, Canadian fighter, for those you don't know, Canadian heavyweight, was an Olympian, bounced back from his loss, came back with a vengeance against Dylan Carmen, knocked him out, got his revenge on him. He fought Sergey Liakovic. Yes, that's Sergey Liakovic. Most of you, speaking of Andy Ruiz, Andy beat him, and most of you remember him from doing convulsions on the floor after getting hit with the right hand by Deontay Wilder. I laugh at it now, but when the shit took place, it was scary. He had one of those, who was that was on the floor swinging when they got knocked down? Was it Simon Brown back in the day? When he hit the canvas and he was still swinging as he was on the ground? Did Marlon Starling have one of them incidents too? My man Stormy B Man might know. I think Marlon Starling had one of those incidents too. But yeah, man, that knockout that looked like Kovic suffered from Wilder was scary. That was some scary shit. But I'll go watch that, man. And I'm assuming Makhmudov ran through San Peter, right? because this is not the 2004, 2005. Who next? Who next? Sam Peter. This is a 290-pound, way past it Sam Peter. This ain't the Sam Peter that won the WBC strap back in the day against Oleg Moskev. This isn't the Samuel Peter that knocked out Jeremy Williams with a vicious left hook. This isn't that Sam Peter. This is an old, worn, torn Sam Peter. You know what I mean? Can you go get that?
Yeah.
Sammy D says he got 3 belts though. Yeah, he won his belts back. Some people are even counting the IBO strap. We ain't counting no IBO straps, man. Shout out to my man D Style Boxing with that super chat. He says, I'm so disappointed I can't even do a vid on it yet. Yeah, and just the action. I thought the action would be a little bit more fast paced. I'm not faulting AJ, man. Look, AJ did the whole like, hey man, I'm going in here to do what I got to do for today. It's kind of like reminding me of Lennox when he fought Tua, when he was kind of like, look, I know what y'all want to see. I'm not about to get into a firefight with this dude. And AJ did the smart thing. Yes, it wasn't eye pleasing, but he did the smart thing for him and his style and his safety, and he did the smart thing for him. Was it eye pleasing? Did I want to see a war? Of course, I want to see them go toe to toe, mix it up. You know what I mean? But AJ did what he had to do, man. Kurt Anderson, what's good, bro? He says, peace, family. What's up, man? Um, Let me see here. Shout out to my man Marlo's Corner up in the house. Arjun Gunlippy, what's up? Let me see here. Let me get back up in here. Punch Quote says, okay, I have to agree with that part. Okay, I'm assuming you're responding to me. But yeah, there ain't no excuses, man. Dude lost yesterday. Andrew Ruiz went in there and got outboxed. My man BG London says 6'6" boxer stayed on the outside against a 6'2" boxer, keeping distance. The heavyweight division is still open, though. Cicero says Joshua should stay at this weight, looks and moves much more naturally, and still hits very hard. Ruiz has a great chin. Funny you say that, Cicero, because when I was saying that he should do that, people were calling me a hater. Not saying you, but people were calling me a hater. And I don't know what I'm talking about. And I remember when I came out with a video years ago, like 2016, 2015, and people were saying he doesn't lift weights. And I'm sitting there like, bro, you don't think that man lift weights? You really think that? But I'm definitely, you guys know I'm a huge fan of like the 80s heavyweights. Yes, I know my history on the 60s and 70s, but I'm a huge fan of the 80s heavyweights. Not so much because they were the best era, just because those guys threw punches and bunches, man. It was nothing. The stuff they used to do would be like admired in today's society, man. It would be admired, like the way Greg, like people think fighting off the back foot. Greg Page used to always fight off the back foot. Greg Page, you know what I mean? Michael Dokes used to always let his hands go. Then you got guys like the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes, you know what I mean? Carter Truth Williams would let his hands go and pop a jab and move from the outside. Those guys just used to let their hands go a lot more in the 80s. It was nothing to watch guys throw 6, 7 punches in a row. Now, if a guy does it, you know what I mean? People are amazed and surprised because now we're in the jab, the jab 1-2 era. Jab 1-2, jab 1-2. Not to say that Larry Holmes never used the jab 1-2, but I'm just saying back in those days, guys were more fluid with their punching. And it just wasn't just the world champions. It was pretty much all of them. James Broad, like I could name any damn uh, pedestrian heavyweight from back in the 80s that would just let their hands go. Tim Witherspoon, you know what I mean? Guys would just let their hands go more, man. Pinkline Thomas. Uh, Now we're in the era of just these big 6'7" guys where it's just the jab right hand, the jab left hook. You know what I mean? They don't let their hands go as much. Let me see here. Stormy B Man says the tempo is fair game. Uh, in boxing, it's a fighter's responsibility to protect himself at all times. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because if we're gonna start saying, "Hey, it was the temple shot," then you're gonna start saying, "Hey, it was the chin shot. Hey, it was the nose shot. Hey, it was the eye shot." Hey, I mean, you're gonna be, saying, giving it a title for every time a person gets hit. But yeah, man, it's your responsibility to protect yourself, man. H. Khan says, morning, bro, in the chat. Carly Harley says Joshua had a bad night first fight. Now he's rectified that mistake, and now he's a two-time champion. Happy days. The money's back in England. Okay. Um, See, yeah, I guess from AJ's standpoint, he had a bad night. I look at that night as Ruiz had a great night. Ruiz had a great night. Um, and yeah, he's a two-time champion. That is true. You know what I mean? But the money being back in England, I mean, shit, they made a boatload of it in Saudi Arabia. And when he came over here and fought Ruiz the first time, he made a boatload of money over here. I know, you know, you're pulling for England and everything like that, man, but Vegas is still Vegas, baby. Ain't nothing like the bright lights of Vegas. NYC, New York City, still New York City. You know what I mean? Yes, I know in Wembley they can sell 8 trillion seats for, you know, $10, $20 for the cheap seats and all that, and 90,000 people. Yeah, I totally understand that. But you can make more than that fighting in a 17,000 seat arena at the MGM. You know what I mean? Mandalay Bay or something, or Madison Square Garden, or the Barclays. You know? Uh Arjun gonna be I am 6'5", and right now I currently weigh 219 pounds. But I was 252 when I went to go watch the Wilder versus Fury fight. And I wasn't fat, I just changed up the way that I work out. You know what I mean? You guys will see me on my bag, man, doing videos. So just changed up the way I work out. I'm doing a lot more cardio, playing a lot more basketball again. When I was in college playing ball, my basketball weight in college was 225. I'm 219 right now, so I'm just back playing ball, watching what I eat a little bit more. But I'm back in my basketball weight. You know what I mean? Um, Let me see here. James Dag says, let me see. He says, how did the ring size factor into AJ's effectiveness? Because he was able to use the real estate, bro. He was able to move around. Has had the ring been a little bit smaller, then possibly possibly Ruiz would have had a better chance of cutting off the ring. But even when he was in front of AJ, he just wasn't doing anything. So uh but with the ring being a little bit bigger, he was just able to use the real estate, man. Just use the ring and circle. He did what he had to do. Uh October 4th says Teddy Atlas always said it takes a great discipline to fight on the outside. Great point how you mentioned the discipline and Ruiz's frustration was showing and feeding the fire. Yeah, because there was times you could see Ruiz kind of like shrug his shoulders like, hey, fight me. Hey, let's fight. And once you start seeing that, you kind of start shaking your head because it's like, yep, he got into his head. You know what I mean? But to Ruiz credit though, even in that first fight, I think there was a moment where he was telling AJ, come on and let's fight. You know what I mean? So maybe he was even showing a little bit of frustration in that fight too. But usually when guys do that and they do the whole stand and fight me like a man type of thing, that's because they're having difficulty catching up to you. You know? Let me see. St. Cruz. Oh yeah, did somebody say something about, hold on, I thought I saw something about if Ruiz, or not Ruiz, but Anthony Joshua fighting like Klitschko. Hold on, let me see. Arjun Gunthy says this performance was all Vlad. It was all Vlad's advice. You could see throughout the fight. Yeah, grab and jab, or jab and grab, or shit. Sometimes even grab and jab. You know what I mean? But a lot of grabbing, a lot of jabbing, a lot of moving. Yep, it was. And look, that's not a knock. So I don't know some people. Oh, you're no, it's not a knock. Whenever a style can give you success for what shit, how long did Vlad go without losing? 10 years or something like that? Then it's not a knock. It's not the most prettiest thing to watch, but it's not a knock. It's up to the opponent to disrupt you. You know what I mean? So when Tyson Fury beat Vladimir in 2015, it was up to him to go in there and figure out Klitschko's style and how to beat Klitschko, knowing that he loves to do the grab and jab. But yeah, you can tell that Anthony Joshua implemented a lot of what Vladimir was doing to smaller guys, and it worked. And even Lennox, when Lennox would get in there with smaller guys, like he did against Mike Tyson and David Tua and guys like that. Hold on, man. How D Style ain't modded up, man? See, yo, they're taking my wrenches from y'all, man. There's no way in the world D Style is not a moderator. There's just that's not even possible. This is crazy. They're taking wrenches from people, man. I know for a fact D Style has is a mod. Um, Clubber Lane, he says, greetings from Brazil, brother. Hey, yo, before I get to the rest of it, let me hit these super chats up really quick, show y'all love, man. Let me see. Scroll down to the super chats really quick. Mr. Mont in the building with that 4.99. Appreciate that $5 holla, man. He says, do you think AJ loses again against any of the top guys? He actually willing to fight. Yes, I do see a loss in his future. Um, Probably not his next fight. Yes, look, I think he can beat the Pulevs. I think he can beat the Jarrell Millers and the Konowskis and guys like that. The Wilders and the Furies, I'm not so sure. I still think Wilder knocks him out. Fury, I think, can still have an opportunity of outboxing him. You know what I mean? But like, look, like in every era, bro, there's going to be one of these up and comers that we think don't have a chance right now. Once their era starts to pick up a little bit in the AJ era and the Wilder and Furies and the Whites and all these guys we're watching now, once the Dubois start, once the guys like the Dubois starting to get a little bit older and Herkovic start getting a little bit older, and the Makhmadovs and some of these guys that you're probably thinking right now, like, man, they ain't got a shot. Yeah, they probably got a shot right now, but hey, man, God willing, there's going to be another 5, 6 years from now where those guys are going to start having that shot. And these guys that we're talking about now are going to get a little bit older. So if AJ's around, especially when those up and coming guys start coming up a little bit, shit, all these guys going to start getting losses, in my opinion. Let me find that other super chat really quick, man. Joseph Brown in the house with a $5 holla. Appreciate it, man. He says, salute to you. Enjoy your content. Side continues. I have no interest in what happens in the UK. They ain't the best until they fight Wilder and win. Wilder #1. I agree that Wilder is the best heavyweight right now. Some people think, oh, Anthony Joshua's the best heavyweight again. Well, dude, he just beat somebody who he was a favorite against. And that's one thing. Let's not lose perspective of that. I understand that the betting lines don't always tell the whole story, but we also have to keep in mind, though, he was a huge favorite. Well, a huge favorite in the first fight and still a comfortable favorite going into the second fight. All he did was just beat somebody he was favored against. You know what I mean? In both fights. So, it's not like he went and uh, conquer Mount Everest, Mount Olympia. You know what I mean? So let's not take it that far, but I will give now what would add a little bit more to it, in my opinion, had it been at Madison Square Garden at the crime scene. That to me would, and I know AJ said he wanted it in MSG. I know I heard him say it. You know what I mean? I think that would add a little bit more to it. But you went in there and beat somebody, you did what you had to do, you won, no excuses. But let's keep it in perspective, though, man. You also went in there and beat somebody that you were favorite. But the dude did whoop his ass in the first fight, though. So he did have to go in there and prove himself. But you're also a favorite. You know what I mean? So a lot of fans are coming across like, it's a huge sigh of relief for the hardcore AJ fans, but we're not done yet. It's not over with, though. You know what I mean? There's still more fights to be fought. It's not over with, though. So go ahead and get your, you know, your sigh of relief. But there's still more out there to do. You know what I mean? Let me see. Go back up here really quick, man. See what y'all talking about. Try to end. I'm trying not to be so long-winded, man. But when I get to talking about these topics, yo, it's just I can go on and on and on and on. Uh, Let me see here. My man Hop up in here. He says like COVID shaking like his leg or shaking his leg like a spasm after Wilder's KO was scary. Yeah, that was just man. That shit looked bad. Joseph Brown, I'm gonna mod you up, man. Right now, okay. Add his mod. Okay, now it's let me add mods back. Do that for Joseph Brown. You been here supporting the channel. And where's D Style at? Man, there's a few you guys where I could have swore you were mods. Yeah, it's like they're taking people's wrenches away, man. Sacramento Expo says AJ deserves all the credit. Yeah, he won the fight, bro. Like the dude won. He won. I mean, he won the fight. Give him credit for running. Or I'll say running. My wife been saying he was running. Now I'm saying he running, but for winning the fight, you know what I mean. So y'all, I'll give him credit for winning his fight, man. But uh, you put that in all caps, so I don't know if you trying to. Well, I'm not gonna read too much. I'm not gonna try to read between the lines of you saying that. But yeah, he deserved credit for winning the fight yesterday. He went in there and did what he had to do. But there's still more to prove, man.
Was the ring different size than it normally is? Did they
I
fight in a
think it's
bigger
so.
ring last night?
I'm not sure, but a lot of fans are saying that they think it looked like that, that the ring was bigger. But regardless of how the ring looked, though, he did what he had to do, man, by just circling and using however big it was, just using the ring, just using the real estate.
Right.
Let me see. King says, I've watched all Herkovic's fights. He hasn't impressed me so far. He looks very stiff and robotic, basic. I would favor Dubois over him if they fought now, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Well, Herkovic, I've been watching him since 20. I've told this story so much, but I've been watching him since 2014 when he was an amateur. I predicted in 2015, when he was still an amateur, that he would win the gold medal, which he didn't, got a bronze. But I predicted that he would be a world champion one day. All right. And as far as him not looking so impressive or not looking impressive to you, I can get it. I can dig where you're coming from. He doesn't fights with his hands down, in and out with his movement, but he has a lot of experience. Um, Kind of fights out of the Vitaly Klitschko esque type of style. Klitschko Vitaly was better on his feet moving, but I can kind of nitpick and take away something from every prospect that are concerns. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think Dubois is a little slow. You know, I think Jagba don't move his head enough. You get what I'm saying? So you can kind of nitpick them all, but I still have Herkovic as if not the best prospect right there. Him and Dubois are kind of like one and two in my opinion. I know you got Yoka and Daichko and Makhmadov and Jolalov. There's a lot. I can say her name a million prospects, but you know, you got Yoka. Uh, there's a lot of them, man. But I still got Herkovic right there. Stormy B Man says, Mr. Box today too. Real talk. I said yesterday I was wrong, but took the outcome, filled it in my toolbox for future examples of what to consider when assessing fights and fighters. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Because that's what you got to do. You know, wrong on it, but still taking away something like, okay, this can happen. You know what I mean? In the next fight. Let me see. Matthew French says, respect to you, Mr. Box, and love your opinions on the heavyweights. I appreciate you. I appreciate that, man. My kids in there going to war at that damn dinner table arguing. Uh, Kaz B says, I don't know even know why people think White would stand any much of a chance. Yo, let me talk about Dillian White real quick. Now, before I go in on him, look, uh, he won't short you on his effort when he's in the ring. Whether he's in shape, out of shape, he won't short you on his effort, in my opinion, his fighting spirit. He won't. He has a good left hook that needs to be respected. He has highlight reel KOs off that left hook. Okay, Lucas Brown, he highlight reel KO'd Tresura. He has some highlight reel KOs, okay? He has a good thudding jab. Thudding, not the best jab. It doesn't flick out the best, you know, but it's a good hard thudding jab. Okay. Now that that's out the way, his performance just and I'm actually watching it now. It's so ironic. It's round 5 right now with him and Wak. He was out of shape. He wasn't ready to fight, man. You can't talk as much shit as he talks and then not be ready. But Mr. Boxing, he just got on the card, you know, just to get some exposure on a big card. He didn't really know if he's going to be on the card. I'm not trying to hear it, man. This is a warrior sport. These are like gladiators up in there, man. What, you know, can you imagine a gladiator saying, oh, I wasn't ready? They always ready. You know what I mean? Already ready. Already ready. There ain't no I gotta get ready. I'm already ready. So he needs to have that mindset. Then I thought he said that he's been training. Oh, I've been training anyways, and all this blah blah blah. Dude came in at 271 pounds, man. Flab all hanging on the side. And this somebody um he just looked just didn't look and I'm watching him right now. He's doing this shoulder roll thing. Just do he's gonna get destroyed fight. If this version of White fought Wilder, he gets knocked out within a couple rounds. Easy. Easy work. Easy work. But Mr. Boxing, he may go to Wilder's body. If this version of him shows up, easy work. Because Wilder will get there first with that right hand. Now Wilder may have to watch out with keeping the right hand out there too long and turning his body in a way where maybe Dillian can pivot can pivot off his left foot and come back with that left hook. Stylistically, I know there's an opportunity for him to try to land that left hook, but I see Wilder. I see Wilder's right hand getting there first. Let me go ahead and see another super chat. Joseph Brown back in the super chat. I appreciate another $5 holla. I appreciate that, man. He says, oh no, it wasn't Joseph Brown. Is my man Say Less with the $5 holla. I appreciate it, bro. He says, Joshua showed me a lot, a lot of mental toughness. He showed me a lot yesterday. I don't care how he won. A win is a win. White will get annihilated by Wilder. Eloquently put, bro. I can't say it no better than that. Shout out to my man Jeff, Say Less, aka Dream Chasing Boxing. Let me see. Hey y'all, I'm horrible at this, man. Keeping track of where I'm at while I'm reading these comments. So if you left me a comment and I skipped over it and I didn't get to it, man, y'all know we family. Let me see though. Well, I get so damn long-winded, man. Cause I go on and on about some of these topics. Where the hell was I? My wife over here laughing at me. Let me see. See my man Haplo type up in here. What's good, Haplo? Lawrence Williams up in here. What's good, man? Mark Blake says, don't forget to hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button. Another super chat up in here. Let me go ahead and bless that person. Okay. Joseph Brown with that super chat. He says, okay, I get it. Because I thought you left me a super chat, so you just left me another one. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the support, y'all. I really do, man. I really do. Appreciate that, Joseph Brown. All right, man. I'm gonna just jump in and just grab a comment, y'all, because I'm all over the place. Marlo's Corner says the old fighters look like they got one more good one. Laugh out loud, except Samuel Peter. Yeah, man. Um, and the older fighter, man, they always think they got one more good performance in them. And part of it is their ego, you know what I mean? But you can't be at this level without having some type of ego, you know what I mean? Or had been at a high level without an ego. So they're going to think they got one more in them. That's why I said earlier, it's good to see them dudes get knocked the hell out in their later days. I know it sounds barbaric, but just to put it in their mind, like, no, bro, it's over for you. Like when the great Bernard Hopkins. It's funny now, but when he slid out that ring and hit his head on that concrete, when that boy, what's that boy name? Joe Smith got him up out of there. Bernard knew the alien need to go fly home, man. ET go home, ET fo home. Yeah, it's time for ET to get up out of there, man. You know what I mean? And I know we were enjoying watching Bernard Hopkins defy the odds, but sometimes it takes you to get knocked the fuck out to really say, all right, these young boys got it. You know what I mean? My man Clubber Lang up in that super chat. I appreciate that, man. Was it that 80? Was it 80? What was it? $84? I appreciate that, bro. Greatly appreciate that, man. Came in here heavy. Yeah, Stormy B, man. They need that ET4 home treatment. Yeah, hey, that's what it is, y'all. They need that ET4 home treatment sometimes. They do, man. Joe Louis needed it. As great as he is, he He needed Marciano to give him that treatment, man. You know what I mean? Y'all remember Mike Tyson when he was I think that was a Danny Williams fight when Mike was just sitting on the mat. When Mike went down after one of the knockdowns and his I think they have a still image of that. When Mike wasn't even really that. He was more dazed than hurt, just sitting there like, oh, man, I ain't doing this shit no more, man. He kind of like had one leg bent up, one leg down, just laying against the ropes. Like, man, sometimes great fighters need that, man, for them to leave. Now, some dudes just continue to get knocked out, like the great Roy. Shouts out to hey, we actually brung up Roy Jones on OG Boxing Talk this morning. For those of you that don't know, I was a guest on OG Boxing Talk, man, and that was a great show today. Blood Boxing was had man, Blood's the first channel I've ever subscribed to, first boxing uploader I've ever seen make a video way back in 2007 2008. My man D Style up in here too. D Style was a part of that first era of YouTube uploaders. I think I'm more of like the second wave because that first wave of guys was like that '06, '07, '08, '09 ish wave, and then I came at the tail end of '09 going into 2010. I was like that second wave of YouTube uploaders. You know what I mean? I kind of caught the tail end of the first wave. But Blood went in this morning, though, man. Then you had Trap House on there, of course, for nine, and KQKC on there, man. So and Kurt Anderson was on there as well. But yeah, Roy though, man. And look, Vlad had to have it happen to him too. You know what I mean? When he fought AJ, because that Fury one, that was kind of like, nah, I lost by decision. And if I can just change this and change that, I can still hang with these young boys. AJ put it in his head that, nah, bruh, your era is OVA, over. That shit's over with. You know what I mean? It's time for me and Wilder and Fury to take this in to the next generation. Um, but yeah, man, we brought up Roy Jones and man, just on the show this morning, a lot of childhood memories like that Art Serrano victory he had when he hit Art with that overhand right. Y'all probably didn't seen it on Roy Jones highlights, man, where the dude had his eyes bugged up, but he was holding the sides of his head. The shit looked like it was out of a movie. That was my first. I remember seeing that like on the bloopers or World of Sports bloopers or plays of the week on ESPN something, and that's the first time I noticed Roy. And then, but Roy had a great career, man. Really great career. One of the best mouthpieces in boxing. The way he would talk shit. Roy Jones' post-fight interview after he beat Montel Griffin is probably there's a lot of good ones, man. When Mike Tyson did the one after he beat who was that did he beat, man? When he went off and talked shit about now Lennox whooped his ass, but who did he beat that night? Savarese. When he was like, I'll eat his children, word, praise to Allah when he was going off. Mike had one, but Roy's rant after he beat Montel Griffin was classic. Classic. He was like, it's Pensacola's turn to talk tonight. Pound for pound, baddest man throwing down. He just man one of the classic rants. If y'all don't remember or y'all haven't heard that one, go watch Roy Jones rant or his post-fight interview after beating Montel Griffin in their second fight. One of the best post-fight rants I've ever heard, man. One of the best. Along with his skill set and all that, but just his mouthpiece of just talking shit, going back and forth, one of the best. Even when they had that split screen, him and Bernard Hopkins fought on the same night and they had Roy and Bernard doing the interview. It was right before Roy was getting ready to leave out to the ring. And he was like, 60-40, I whoops that ass. 60-40, and I whoops that ass. It was just, man, Roy was the man, man. Yeah, yeah, Pasha Blaine, when he was like, I want to bring the RJ out. Y'all made me bring RJ out. And Larry Merchant was like, what do you mean, RJ? He's like, no, man, because I don't want to have to do that boy like that. He got family. I don't want to embarrass him from his family. You know what I mean? But y'all forced me to bring, man, he was just, man. And just all the memories from being a kid is coming back, man. Being a teenager watching Roy. But Roy was the man, y'all. That was classic. Classic. My man Say Less back in that super chat. He says, I hope, and I mean I hope that Joshua takes control of his career, ride this momentum. If he goes straight into a Wilder Fury fight, you can make a movie out of it. You could, man, but I think, and you know what, Jeff? From what when Hearn said that thing, when he said that AJ is the governor again, just all the hopefulness and everything just kind of just drained out of my body, man. I was like, oh, here we go with this talk again. Now it's Lord Chancellor AJ now. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, Eddie. Like, maybe he's just talking this shit because they won. And I get it. You feeling yourself, you talking shit. I get it, man. But please don't start this holier than thou. And, you have to stand in line to kiss the champ's foot and beg for a fight and kiss his pinky ring and please don't start this, Eddie. Don't start this shit. This is what makes us not like you, man. He's the governor now again. And the way Eddie talks and his little snide remarks and the way he talks, I feel as if I know how he meant it, and to me, it's holding his middle finger up at us. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. I'm playing psychologist, but and body language expert, but that's just what I think, man. And that's what I don't want to hear. We went through that shit for 3 years, man. Yes, your boy won the title back. Let him make his little mandatory defenses, and let's not do that. You know what I mean? Jay Jerk says, "Where's Revis and all this now?" I haven't heard from Oscar in a while, man. I knew he was a candidate to get a fight against. Damn, they brung his name up for somebody, man, and it's lost my mind, bro. But I did see Revis in a camp training with was it Makhmadov and damn, I just seen on Instagram not too long ago. It was Makhmadov and somebody else. Damn, y'all. Hey, this is my damn battery is dying. Shit. I missed a lot of questions, man. Damn, I do not feel comfortable leaving without answering these questions that y'all was doing, that you guys are leaving me. Look, bro, my phone is literally on 2%. My charger's acting janky right now. I'm gonna try to go live later, man. I appreciate y'all showing up to the live stream. I will be back later. We're gonna chop it up again, man. We're gonna chop it up again. You know what I mean? But until then, y'all be easy. I'm gone.